Hey, we are on.
We're on.
Yes, I'm so excited. Thank you for having me today.
Me too, me too. Oh my God, this is awesome. So, hello everybody. Welcome to BeMore 2024. I'm really excited to be here. Today, I have a community led growth marketer with about over 14 plus years of experience in marketing and community building. And he's been scaling revenue for startups for over 10 years. So, I have Francisco here with us today. He has a great session for you all. So without any further ado, passing off the mic to Francisco.
Nice, 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 nice. So let me push this. So first, thank you for, as I said, thank you for having me. I recently joined ADP List team at the beginning of this month, and I just encounter all this motion. Utkarsh doing wonders with 100 plus speakers, like also like more than 20 volunteers helping with the sessions. So yeah, I just said, hey, there is a chance to share something during the festival, and Utkarsh says, it will cost you expensive, but let's talk about it. No. Then I end up having a slot for the session. So yeah, I'm really excited. And also I want to take this opportunity to just thank to all the speakers, like that committed to support the festival, and also volunteers like you, Vita, that are like really putting time aside from different activities, even maybe asking permission in their works to help and support this initiative. We know the big impact that the festival has across the industry, and also all the industries that we are serving these days. That's why I just wanted to take a minute to say thank you for that. No?
Absolutely. Take it
Oh,
away,
sorry,
Francisco.
I missed the comment about the picture. So yesterday in the afternoon, Utkarsh organized a kind of online training for all volunteers. No, so this is part of the audience that was there yesterday. Now all the volunteers that are different and different places hosting sessions for the festival. So yes, thank you to all of you.
Please take it away.
Let's do it. So I think that there is one about me. So the talk today is how startups can drive growth and product innovation with online communities, right? Online communities is not something new. So before diving, so you know why this guy is talking about communities. Let me share the why, right? So currently, I have the privilege of working with Lizzie and Felix and Catherine and the rest of the team. Utkarsh also that is in the chat as marketing lead for ADP List. I'm really pumped of this opportunity, and I promise I'll do my best to keep serving you all and growing this community. Now, regarding a bit of my background, the past, I am fairly hybrid, as I said to my friends, a hybrid monster, because my beginnings of the career are very technical. I was actually a web and mobile app developer, I ended up turning into a marketer. So yeah, it's a hard story to believe, but happened. Especially since I moved to the UK 9 years ago with my family. Now I work for companies like Circle.so, that is a community platform. I work also for bodyboss.com as marketing director. Mostly, it's a community platform for WordPress. Then also last year for Uscreen, that is a community platform for creators. Then Better Mode, that is an enterprise. And then now, of course, with NDP List. Mostly, I have been always in the intersection, how marketing and community work together to drive revenue and growth for companies. That's why I want to talk about that today. All right. I'm just checking the chat. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Martin. Thank you so much, Pradeep. Let's go. First, the easy bit. What is an online community? Okay. I would say in my case, there are so many definitions. So I will just share a few main lines regarding this. You can find that every person who works in community has his own definition of this, and that's okay. There is no dogma on this. But for me, the easiest way is an online community is a safe space where users gather. One second. Where users gather around shared interest, ideas, or goals. The main advantage is that an online community opens the possibility for members to engage in discussions, share content, provide feedback, etc. And also, there is a kind of technicality on this because they need a place for this space to live. So mostly it's forums, or sometimes you have communities hosted on social platforms that you don't own, or other times you decide to kind of pay for a community platform as the one that I worked before to host this safe space, right? Now, if you have your own version of what is in your mind for online community, please write that, share that in the chat. I would love to learn what do you have in mind when you think about what is an online community. Okay, if this one resonate, please do so. But if you have different ideas, please share it in the chat. I will be reading during the talk, so no problem. Now, regarding startups, why online communities matter for startups? Okay, I would say the mind value is divided across three different areas. One is a direct line to your most engaged users, right? People using your software or taking advantage of your services are the ones that are going to live in that community, and you're going to get access direct to them. No email, probably DMs, probably as part of the community discussions, and so on. Also, when you actually have a place where people talk about your brand, that generates a sense of belonging. What is a sense of belonging? It's like, like whatever I do in that community, it feels like a small contribution. And then whenever someone is contributing, you're going to notice that the feeling is that kind of you own a bit of that space. That means belonging. When you feel, hey, I have invested so much time helping others inside this community or answering questions. So yeah. Also, as I said, Moon. Sorry, my screen is dirty there. Moon Ju is saying also for lead nurturing. Of course, we are going to talk about the business goals during this part today, but the third one, that is the one that this talk is mainly talking about, is about feedback loop for continuous improvement of your product, right? So these are the three main areas that I would say this is why online communities are so important for the startups. But now we can twist the discussion and the mindset. Now, what are the benefits if startups actually invest in community? What are all the things available? What are the perks that startups can receive if they commit and invest in community? You can say that AD Police has invested heavily into community. There is a head of community, and there are two other community professionals supporting Lizzie today. We have Catherine, we have Faith. So I would say startups like even AD Police that are consumer and consumer driven are still investing heavily into the community. Now, these are actually 9 benefits. No? So today we are going to start chatting and talking about every one of them. But the key benefits. So I decided to start with the benefits so you can understand, oh, this is really, I would love to have these perks with my company. And I want to really explore how to then tie all the community with the business goals. That is the end part of the talk today. First, when you have an online community, uh, of course, a few members of your team are going to be helping in the community, also answering questions. But what happens when your team, is on the other side of the world and they are sleeping, but your online community is still alive and people at any time during 24 hours are asking questions? Actually, other members of the community are going to jump in and help. So the first step is the cost for support is going to decrease. Actually, the company can save a ton just by allowing peer-to-peer support and interactions. The second is an increase in user retention and engagement. Well, this is already proven everywhere. No, like the more committed and engaged with the product community or the support community a user of a SaaS is, the less the less likely is that person to churn. No, that means like when they are kind of committed and involved in the community of a product, they are less likely to stop the subscription. So that's a big win because the goal for many startups is increase the LTV or the value or the lifetime value of every customer. So having a high retention rate is essential. The third one is co-creation. Now, this is the interesting part because actually, for instance, if you run proper community programs, you can get your own members of the community on top of any resources that you are sharing. No, you can actually allow them to contribute on meaningful ways. Maybe they want to share a tutorial. Maybe they have learned how to integrate this and that with your product, and they want to share it. So it enables, members, sometimes thousands of members, to co-create with you the content that is part of the whole ecosystem of resources available for your community. Hey, I can see someone from London here. Me too, Shane. Hey, good to see you. Let's keep going. So another one is enhance customer acquisition. No, someone was saying about lead nurturing and all that. Yeah, Moon, this is for you. No, so for instance, when the community, of course, is, even though a few sections of your community are going to be private, there is likely a few of them knowledge base, articles, events, and things like that that you are going to keep open on purpose because you want visibility with the rest of the world. So that will also enable organic interactions. Let's say people just searching for, I don't know, AI events, and they are going to find your community links there, your community events there, etc. Also, they are going to be able to find user stories. Let's say how people are facing issues and other helping them, and so on. And the other one is a good example is the word of mouth. Like when your community is accessible, people talk about it. When they enjoy the experience inside your community, they talk about it and they invite others. And in the end, all that is free promotion. Like you can kind of generate growth without invest money, right? Now, we talk about this, but this one is a bit deeper. No, regular interactions actually foster loyalty and reduce the churn rate. Now, loyalty to whom? That's the point. The loyalty generated through community members to whom? To your brand or to other members? I would say the loyalty is towards the experience. Now, even though the benefits are ended up with the brand, but the loyalty of community members is towards the community experience. Like they love so much the community experience that you have developed or that you have set up that they want to stay around. They want to keep enjoying it. So even though our brand or product is going to get the benefits of that, but it's not about you. Like no one is going to be sharing, hey, I love this community. Not many. They love the experience. That's why they talk about it. And the third is brand visibility with user generated content. For instance, there are many chances where we can also get and co-create. Let's say maybe you want to run a podcast. You have a chance to invite your community members to share their expertise, to share the success stories, share how they migrate from the previous competitor towards your product, and so on. So there are many opportunities for co-creation. Also, sometimes they are going to just share on video a testimonial for your brand, just praising. Also, that happens, right? I'm Ellie. Welcome, LM. Then we have a bit of the third row of perks. Now, the word of mouth. Now, this is honestly these days the cheapest but the strongest marketing channel for online communities. Now, like people will come to your community even before even testing your product. No, you don't know. Honestly, it's happening. No, so this is key. One good example, no, is that for instance, ADP list has grown so much during these years without using zero money on paid ads. Even Felix was posting on Twitter a few days ago regarding this achievement, how many visitors and all that, right? So honestly, word of mouth is the big one of the perks of having an online community. Of course, you're going to have a chance to also, let's say, reduce like the number of tickets of support generated for your business services or your business carries. And that again means money saved for your company. So yeah, many perks. Let's move on. Now, how once we are happy, I understood there are lots of benefits of having an online community. But now how I do it? How can I actually run the show? Right? That's the big challenge. The first step is that you are building a direct channel of communication with your customers. That's the value of the community. And honestly, people love that. People love to know that when they post something, on the other side, someone of the product of the community will be actually reading, taking notes, receiving the feedback, and replying accordingly. People love that. So don't underestimate the power of having the community as a communication channel, direct, straight with your customers. Now, also the community, is going to enable them to, it's going to enable you to detect who are your power users. In that way, you can reach out to them. Maybe you can invite them to a like elite space where the power users are all together, and then that you can encourage them to share their experience, their ideas, with the rest of the community members. Or they could even kind of help you onboarding new members, make them feel comfortable, and so on. And the third is brand advocates. No, when the way that you can actually build stronger customer relationships is that powerful that your customers, after becoming power users, they actually start talking others about your brand. For instance, on ADP list we have ambassador groups. No, they are leading, like they are kind of small teams leading ADP list and representing ADP list on every major city in this world. So this is a clear example of the power of ambassadors or brand advocates. They are not getting paid for all that. They just love the experience and they just want to share that experience with the world, and they just want to bring more people together. No? So today is similar. No, when you create a product experience and then a community experience that complement that experience, they create an ecosystem where the members feel safe. You can actually generate brand advocates. Still, it sounds easier to say than to get it done, right? It needs some efforts on our side. Now, we talk about how, no, the title of this talk is about how communities and like how startups can actually drive innovation using the community. So I would say what you need to keep in mind is that community can fuel the product innovation. Now, the first step to get this fuel is to listen, right? For instance, you need to gather customer feedback at scale. No, there is no, honestly, it's not realistic. Try to handle the feedback via email, via spreadsheets. Honestly, it's not scalable. No, so you likely want to do better. No? Then the second step, once you have a place to collect the feedback, to learn all that, is you need to also identify the pain points. Something is repetitive. Every time people are asking for the same and the same. So that will actually help your product people and your designers, right, to prioritize which features we should work on first. No, actually, in a few platforms, they can actually even upvote. Your community members can actually upvote what they want to happen. And the third, regarding fueling product innovation, that I would say is the biggest challenge for every startups, is this phrase: product market fit. It's a nightmare. When they hear this, it's like, oh my gosh, like product market fit is the hardest thing to get through for startups today. But many are still not realizing how much the feedback from the community can actually help them shape their product or service to thrive and find the market fit. So this, honestly, this one that we have just mentioned is essential. If any startup doesn't find after a few years that market fit, they shut the shop. The business is down, right? That's why it's so important. I want to take a pause here because I want to show you actually how how one SaaS company is actually doing this. Uh, I may have some bias because I was working with them a few months ago before joining ADP List, but this is, to be honest, a good example of having a place for your customers with all necessarily scaled setup to actually collect feedback, receive feature requests, right? And then generate discussions and advocacy. So I'm going to do like a quick walkthrough through this community. This is the customers community of the community platform named bettermode.com. Actually, this is a public space. I'm going to share with you for your reference so you can explore afterwards. And you can see No, at the beginning, you can right away understand what's new, kind of what's hot, and you can see, announcements from product people, from the CEO, right? If you scroll down, you can see also community discussions. You can see like, hey, I'm struggling with this, I'm struggling with that. Maybe this is a bug. People asking, like you are going to get the same. And then what I want to put the focus on today is this section named wishlist. No, actually, you can see here these are named wishlist, but in the essence are just feature requests. Customers, users of this product are just sending future requests, right? So now there is a dedicated space where every community member and user of the product can share no the feature request. On the left, you can see there is a under product group, there is a no section named wishlist. So I'm going to click that, and you're going to find now, for instance, many companies have multiple tools to run different things. For instance, sometimes you have a community on X platform, and then the product feedback collected through a different platform like Canny or similar. No, but in the end, there is no one unified ecosystem where your members can discuss each other and right away share product feedback or feature requests. That's the advantage of this platform, that you can have all together, right? So you can see here what is trending, no? And you can see the also like the most popular, kind of what has the most upvotes, and then what are the new stuff. For instance, people are still not voting this one, but these are new ideas, right? And then if you want to have kind of a roadmap view, what is in progress, what has been delivered, everything is there in one place. Everything is visible. So this is an effective way to drive, collect feedback from product, collect feature requests, show them in a roadmap format, and then drive innovation. You can see no, the product team is actively working no, on this. So quickly, I just wanted to show you this. You can, of course, it's an open community. You can just go there, have a look, see what is happening, right? But I wanted to just show you one concrete example of how the feedback of the community can actually drive product innovation. All right, stop this. Yep, thank you for your patience. And let me go back to my slide. Oh, sorry, we were, hmm, sorry, I'm not sure why it's going full width, but there you go. Okay, sorry. Now, let's do a recap before going into this section. So we understand first what is an online community. We learn 9 benefits of the perks that I call the perks of running or investing in an online community for your startup. There were 9. Then we also learn why, or how a community can actually help you drive product or service innovation. But the big question is now how to do it. Okay, I have my platform where I want to run my community, but actually what I need to do, that's a big question mark on this. Now, this is kind of part of the community strategy, if we wanted to call it in a way, right? And that's why I put the title, Fostering Engagement in Your Community. So before do anything, what you have to understand and define with your stakeholders, with your team, is what are your goals? What are the goals for this community? Is mostly feedback? Is mostly support? Is maybe advocacy? Maybe it's a bit of everything, and that's still valid, right? But based on the goals is the structure that you're going to have, also the resources that you're going to require to run it. Because let's say, sadly, many times the person running the community is one, and the best scenario 3, 4, but usually it's not bigger than that. We are talking about startups level, no, because like enterprises like HubSpot and things like that, they have 40 people working in the community team, they have a big director and so on, right? But we are talking about startups here, mostly lean organizations. So once you have decided what are your goals, then you need to define your resources strategy. What is going to be your content strategy? After that, you need to also figure out, hey, how I'm going to get these people together. I mean, that's what we love. That's why we keep coming back to communities. You know that last month we ran more than 45 meetups in IDP list across the world. It's insane, right? But it's because people love getting together, right? Then for your community, for your people, you need to figure out the best. What is the best time? What is the best format to run events? Maybe it's not just like this when one is teaching, the rest are kind of interacting on the chat. Maybe they like a open grid with everyone faces on screen sharing different opinions faster, right? You need to figure out exactly what is the best type of event that your people love. Of course, the only way to know this is asking them. So you should run a survey. You should create a post in your community asking for validation before start even creating events randomly. Ask for what they need. We just learned that the whole product innovation is driven by community feedback, but the strategy for your community, the content, is also driven by them. Now there is a saying that people says, especially community builder says, no, you don't need to build um, a community for your members. You need to build with your members. That's the difference. No, you don't build a community, you build with your members, right? Sorry, it's not built for your members, it's built with your members, right? Or within your members. Then, of course, the fourth aspect is reward participation and contributions. People honestly invest so much time in communities that if you care for them and you create, for instance, a gamification system, you know that all our mentors have different levels based on the minutes that they have invested serving of their mentees. Now, that is like a clear way to gamify the community experience, even though at product level. But in your community, you can do the same. You can use a leaderboard, you can use badges, and you can keep showing and using ways to engage with your top and the most active contributors. And finally, the core of community are discussions, right? On top of the events that happen maybe once a week, once a month, once per quarter, whatever you decide, what will be happening likely daily are discussions. So you need to also find places, and also if let's say discussions are slow at the beginning, you should generate topics to be discussed within your community, asking for feedback, asking for ideas, or sharing valuable content, and then what they think about it, and so on, right? Let's keep going. We are almost there. Yeah. This is the important slide. So now we learn all the pretty stuff. No? We learn what I call, no, and also my friend Brian Oblinger called operative goals. That is engagement, likes, number of visitors, etc. It's like all the nice figures. No, that is how many attendees your last event got, how many showed up, all that. Those are operative goals. Like honestly, the operative goals mostly are the funny stuff for the person running the community. But if you go to your stakeholders, your C-suite with operative goals, they don't care about them. Those are not business goals, right? All the engagement. Hey, we received last week 1,000 new members. Okay, and what is the revenue of those 1,000 members? Oh, it's zero. Okay, good for you. But the C-suite will not care of whatever community efforts you are doing if are not having an impact on the business goals. That's why I put this line in the middle, because that is usually where all the community magic breaks. No, and people mostly working in community, doing heavy stuff in the community, suffers because sometimes they are missing out on how to actually do a handshake between the operative goals and link them with business goals. Let's talk about it because honestly, this one is an important one. Now, business goals are revenue, traffic, leads, right? Maybe deals closed, revenue generated from community people, etc. Operative goals, engagement, traffic, likes, a number of discussions, and so on. Now, to have more examples, what we need to do is integrate your community. One way to kind of link community goals with business goals is integrate communities into your product strategy. That's one. We talked about a bit lightly before, but now just like put emphasis on one of these aspects. So The first is tie community growth to product metrics like adoption and retention rates. I'll share a few examples on this. Let's say you are launching a new feature that will help your people search into your product with AI. Now, then you have announced that through all your users via email, and also you have announced that in your community to kind of course, share the good news and all that. Now, after let's say 45 days and after 60 days, then you can start doing analytics comparison and understand, okay, people who are in the community using this feature or aware of this feature actually are using it 3 times more than people who didn't join the community yet. That is a clear uh, way to measure business goals, right? This is adoption. We are talking about here about adoption. And then similar, no, let's say, hey, we have cohorts for renewals, especially startups that sell software. They try to make deals like every 2 years and things like that. So, hey, we have two cohorts coming, for the renewal this month, and then after the renewal period has gone, then you can also go back and analyze, hey, the cohorts, these two groups, like where 10 were part of the community and 10 were not. But from 10 that were part of the community, actually 7 renew. But from the ones that were not part of the community, only 3 renew. Again, you can translate the work that you are doing with community with direct impact on business goals. Renewal means new business. Actually, your community efforts will be driving revenue for the company, right? So you need to kind of, it's not justify, but just like explain and articulate the value of your work, like all the efforts and investment that you're doing for your community. Then second value is similar. No, you can actually use your community power users to test features and gather feedback even before wider releases. That is an advantage because if you don't have power users of you, if you are not clear about who they are, then probably it will be hard for your product manager or even like maybe your UI UX designer research to know where to go to get the right feedback, right? You want to know, hey, these are my power users and I want to help them. Then we can have also, as we saw an example of better mode, you notice clarity on a roadmap. The same. No, you should include your roadmap in your community. What is next? What is coming? Of course, you are not committing with accurate dates or hey, that the 21st of September we are going to release this and that. No, usually that never happens with product and services. No, it's only like 2 days before the official release. We just you are able to announce because everything is really ready. But people want to know what's next, what is coming, mostly because if let's say they are facing any challenges, they might be exploring options or alternatives to your product or service. And of course, you don't want that. You don't want them to stick around. So if you are able to reveal at least partially the vision of what's next, then first you get a chance to collect feedback. Then you get a chance to also get them involved in the beta process and even alpha test of a new feature. No, and then you are going to also keep them engaged with you instead of keep researching alternatives. That's why, again, this is still having a direct impact in your business goals and revenue. And the fourth, is like just like enabling your community members to create ambassadors. You know that you can actually track the performance of your ambassadors. You can just add a UTM, a simple UTM parameter, ambassador campaign, John, no, or Lizzie in the URL. You will know exactly, hey, John share the town hall event that is coming in 2 weeks on social, and he drive 50 RSVPs. Oh wow, that's insane. Right? And then the other stuff is this parameter tied to John then is part of your CRM. Let's say you are going to see on Hotspot all the data of these people, and then you will know that even maybe 50 RSVPs, maybe 2 of them ended up becoming customers. So then you can also able to track how much revenue your ambassadors that you are not paying, right, to kind of share the love for your brand, your ambassadors, how much revenue they are generating for your brand, or how many users they are, bringing, or how many trials they are generating. So yeah, that's beautiful. Exactly. It's like having sales people without having sales people, right? Yeah, I love it, love it. That's great. Love this GIF. Sorry. So this is like the magic ends here. So if you manage to get this, if you manage to get this right, likely your community will get always support from the C level and from the and resources you need to keep growing. No, because you have proof, concrete proof of the value. It's not just theory and nice analytic numbers. You actually have, hey, my community only drive, sorry, this and that during this quarter. So we deserve the resources that we are asking for. Of course, this theory is nothing if we don't bring to the table the good examples, right? Well, probably the half, no, I would say 99% of the world loves Notion. Probably 99% of the world loves Notion. But the love is not because of Notion only. Again, the community, no, the whole community and how this is structured, no, across the world, because it's huge, is how all the growth for Notion was driven. 20 million users sharing templates, use cases. No, then you can see, you can just type Notion tutorial on YouTube. You will find million of videos, user generated content. And then in the communities, they run also local meetups and things like that, right? So peer-to-peer learning is happening every minute, every second for the Notion community. And the other one that honestly recently has kind of splash the last 2 years is Duolingo, right? Duolingo is what the trick, no, in their case was gamification, no, that has increased the retention. No? So they have forums, leaderboards, right? That has helped them increase interaction up to 30%. The community itself, no, foster competition and collaboration. No, it's a game. We are learning together, but we are still competing each other, right? So it's the exciting part and mixed up with your progress and your knowledge and all that. And of course, all this gamification has impacted directly retention's rate. Again, we learned that retention and adoption were clear business goals. Duolingo is doing their job, and Notion, of course, even more, right? So I just wanted to just show these examples before kind of wrap. And then I think that the last one is this. I'm done with my bit. So maybe Vida, you want to go back on screen? And then if there are any questions, maybe, maybe there are a few, we can go through them.
Absolutely. Love that, Francisco. That was amazing.
I
Um,
love communities. Sorry, I
so
love communities. I got inspired.
yeah. And the fact that ADP list, like you mentioned, since its inception has grown this massive with absolutely nil investment in paid marketing is so cool. But then again, we're a super cool community with an awesome team under Felix's leadership. It's really no surprise. And I can't wait to see all the great things ADP List has yet to come. But with that said, yes, let's open up the forum for Q&As. Uh, First up, we have Moon has a question. As a product studio, how do you go about creating a community for your startup? Do you think community building also works for a brand that targets corporate clients?
uh, the short answer is yes. Yes. And now the long answer can be it depends. It depends. Like there are many approaches to target corporate or enterprise clients. So the common practice when you are offering services is you design solutions. No, and when you want to target enterprise clients or corporate clients, is to create a community of practice. Maybe no, you are targeting specific verticals. Let's say no, you create marketing solutions or you develop software for someone. No, but mostly you have certain verticals covered as part of your portfolio. Likely you need to come up with a community of practice for those verticals. Let's say I know a few agencies in London that, for instance, are running a community of how to help founders to learn how to use HubSpot. That the community is all about how to help founders learn HubSpot, because it's true, there is a HubSpot community, like the official one. Oh, well, they have like five now official ones, but there is one official one, but mostly people there are all marketers. No, they are not all of them are founders. No, there are most of them are people hired by someone working for a big company that is using HubSpot, and they send the marketer to the community to learn more, to gather resources, to learn insights, right? But the difference is when you target the persona that is the decision maker for your business. Now, let's say, hey, the founders or the owners of the business are the ones actually buying my service or product. If you create something for them, bespoke, because of course the way that you speak to them is different. Now, when you talk about a marketer, maybe you talk about you are speaking to an employee, right? So the decision making is limited. But if your messaging is articulated to speak to a founder or a business owner, they have total control on the decision making. So the way you speak to them is way different. No, hey, you want to like kind of saving taxes for next year? This is how community to learn how to save in taxes. No, then you want to kind of learn how to run hotspot, or you want to learn how to, for instance, how to manage your product roadmap, or how to manage developers properly. I don't know. The topic doesn't matter. It's the way that you frame this to be something bespoke. And also, probably it could be overwhelming to think about running a community to kind of get leads for your services. But an easy way to start is with events. So you could create a small events, very limited, let's say up to 10 people for a dinner. And then you can just reach out through your own connections to potential people that you think could be a good fit, and then you create a very, very private dinner. And the topic of the dinner could be just founders dinners or startup founders dinners, to talk about, I don't know, retention. That's it, right? I would say you need to go baby steps. No, and then once you get some traction, you can maybe put them together in an online space. But you need to go baby steps. No, I would say again, yes, it's doable, but you need to just be smart and start with baby steps, getting these people together. That in the end might be even that they are a certain point competitors. Maybe they are in the same vertical, in the same niche, right? But if you are setting up the neutral ground for discussions, they are not going to share, of course, private information, but they can learn and share insights about the market and how to do things, right? Yeah, that's the long answer.
That's fair. That's fair. Thank you. Thank you for the question, Moon. And then we have Megan. Megan says, interesting talk, Francisco. Well, you mentioned about integrating community into product strategy. How do you find a way to balance between community asking needs and your own vision or goal?
Oh, well, I think that this is a beautiful question. And this is probably the biggest challenge, when it comes to product managers, like it's the big one. Or VP of product is still the big one. No, I would say that you need data to back up any decision. It's true. We love feedback. We love people out voting, because you are going to get, maybe, I don't know, integrate with Zapier, an example, integrate with Zapier or Zapier, and that can have 1,000 votes. But how many people are really trying to integrate? No, maybe you should, for instance, I noticed one smart way, of actually. This is an example regarding integrations, because it's very, very amazing implementation. So there is a platform named Common Room. Common Room. It's a kind of a platform where you can actually track the whole ecosystem, social, community, etc., but actually help you understand, to get signals on your customers' behavior. But going back to the product question, what they did to detect what to prioritize on the roadmap, they implemented both as at user level inside the app. So, for instance, when you were logged in, and you go to the on the left settings, then integrations. Of course, they have a few integrations already developed, but then they listed, I don't know, maybe 50 apps going down. No, and then of course all of them were not developed. So, but there is a button there. I want this, right? I want this. So then what they did is the math. Hey, like real data from users in the platform, not only in the community, no, just like in the platform, how many people actually requested for this. Now that will give you backup. No, let's say, hey, in the roadmap, all the bots for this implementation or this feature are 1,000, but people actually asking for the integration in product are, I don't know, 200. No, and then that will give you a parameter, to validate how real is a request. And then of course you need to kind of measure, hey, if this new feature is going to be just like a free integration, or are we going to generate this as an add-on that also will drive revenue for the company? If we develop, then we can charge our users to extend, their ecosystem to use Zapier. We're going to the example of Zapier. So I think that these are a bit of the things. First, try to back up with data exactly what your people needs. Compare. Try to have more than one point of reference to define the priorities, and then try to find how revenue-wise any of these potential priorities make sense. And then likely, if let's say you have five for the next 6 months, five in your priority list, and then you can use the revenue parameter to say, hey, from these five, which one can trigger revenue faster? Oh, number one and number three. Then what you will do likely will be develop number one and number three at the top. And then the other ones will come with time. But I would say always try to, whatever you do in product, decisions, data to back up, and then go to your um, finance person, revenue officer, whatever, and then, hey, how can we figure out what of these priorities can trigger revenue? He will advise exactly how to do it, and then you can with your team develop what is right. That's my feeling. That could be my approach, on how community can support product development. But again, as we learn, always tied to business goal. That in the end is one word: revenue, right?
Absolutely. I think that's an amazing way to put that. Thank you. I hope that answers your question, Megan. Thanks for the question.
Thank you, Megan. Macy, good question.
Then we have Elham. Her question is: should I make a community for my small brand? Does it actually help? How?
We learned today that you need a clear goal for your community, right? So even small brands can run communities. That's not a challenge at all, right? A few small brands even run communities on WhatsApp and Telegram in a few countries, right? So the size is never the problem, but you need to define what is the goal. Now, what will be the goal in your case? You are going to get designers together, and what is the purpose? Just like interact, get connected, have fun, or learn from each other. Or maybe you want to get designers together to teach them how to get clients, how to get freelance business. So it depends, like, what is your goal, likely if worth, because running a community is exciting and it's a lot of fun, but also it needs your time, it needs some resources, right? Maybe you are going to need I don't know, to pay for a community platform or something like that. So you need to figure out a balance between, like, hey, I can invest a few hours and my time and certain amount of resources on this project, and then again, even though at this level small, you can also figure out, is there a return on this investment for me as professional? Sometimes the return is not money. Sometimes the return is boost your personal brand, or like they become a thought leader for the designers or UI or UX, right? So you need to also figure out, hey, I'm happy to commit and put aside some resources for this small community, but then what is the return for me? If you can find that the return is like fair for the effort that you are doing, either money, either leads, either like personal brand, even followers on LinkedIn, whatever, that kind of bring value to you, then that's still a right decision to go, right?
That's fair. That's fair. I love how you said it doesn't always translate. The result doesn't always translate to money. Sometimes it's a personal brand booming. Love
Yeah.
that. Love that. One last question is going to be Martin's. So Martin asks, what would you recommend as a major way to improve customer adoption and retention, provided the product developed is generally useful? What are some of the known ways that worked?
Okay, we are not seeing that question on screen, so I'm trying to read from the Q&A session. Okay, one second, one second.
Yeah, it's the
Uh,
last one.
yeah, yeah, I'm on it. What would you recommend? Sorry, what would you recommend?
Gotcha.
There you go. Thank
It's
you.
on the stage now.
What? Thank you so much. What would you recommend as major way to improve customer adoption and retention, provided the product was useful? Some, I would say like covering the basics, because I mean I have no context on this generally useful product. I have no context, no. So I would say you need to cover the basics first. So for instance, do you have enough step-by-step tutorials for your product? Are you developing guides and video guides every time that you are going to release a new feature, right? Do you have an FAQ section to cover maybe potential, cases where people are lost? I think that if you ensure to cover the basics, that can trigger adoption faster. And also, for instance, even with Lizzie, we were chatting about this idea because like she's developing a whole mentor hub uh, platform, and she's creating lots of resources. And we were thinking, how can we have all the FAQs for one topic all together? And we say, oh, so every time that a new questions comes, instead of creating a separate article tied somewhere, just like keep adding questions below this content. So I can imagine similar. So if you want retention, every time that someone is struggling with something, even though something might be small, go and create a guide to ensure that there is an answer for that. Because if you have 1,000 users and you get two people asking, likely you have a rate that 5% of every new user of your platform is struggling with the same thing. So that will help you with the retention. They will not drop because there is no resources available to face or solve the challenge. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Absolutely. Those were some amazing bunch of questions. Thanks everyone for posting them. And thank you, Francisco. It's a pleasure to host you. And oh, that's something cool. What is that?
R2D2.
Oh,
Oh,
that's so cool. Yeah.
just for my Star
Thanks
Wars
for being
fans
here.
looking at this.
Yeah, but I'm glad everybody enjoyed this session. Check out the networking area in AirMeet and the other sessions on the schedule. The previous sessions have the recordings available, so I hope you have fun. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. See ya.
Vida, great work today. Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
everyone
you.
for listening today. Bye bye.